feel like I'm doing this video like every other week, but a lot of folks ask me about my opinions on various properties or new media that's out there, especially during shows like Ripping the Silverback. We appreciate you viewers every week, don't get me wrong. But why did I stop doing reviews? Now, my last official review that I did on my YouTube channel, I believe was in 2021. It might have been like the Snyder Cut. I did a history of the Justice League and all of that. I believe that was the final one around that time. Now, there's two big reasons why I stopped doing reviews. One being the obvious, right? That was around the time where I was really starting to move forward with the Rippaverse, okay? So my time just simply didn't have it anymore. And I was dedicating that towards my own like material, right? Coming up with these new characters, building out this universe Bible, as well as writing ISOM #1. So that was a big part of it, okay? And, you know, time is the most precious resource that you have. And man, in starting my own company, I really realized how scarce it really is, right? It's just only so much time in the day, and there's so much that you have to do, especially if you have these big ambitions. Now, the other reason, though, is professionalism. Now, I do appreciate, again, don't get me wrong, all the folks that have come to my channel or found out about me because of those long reviews that I used to do, whether it be on comic books or it was movies, whatever it may be, some positive, some not so much. And while I appreciate everybody, I totally understand that when you start your own comic book company, there is a level of professionalism that you have to maintain. It doesn't mean that you can be, or you have to be opinionless, right? I of course, am going to give my opinions, and it doesn't mean I can't like talk about things, but having it be like a main, let's say, form of content that I'm creating just is very unprofessional, because what are you really telling your audience when you're focusing on other people's stuff more than your own? So it just really doesn't make sense for me to do that, especially in the comic book or comic book based media like movies and things of that nature. Just really doesn't make any sense. And I'm, again, going back to the first thing I talked about with the time, like I'm not even going to view a lot of that stuff. I'm uninterested totally, not necessarily because, well, what they're putting out doesn't interest me. There's a role there. That kind of was the first reason why I was like, look, man, why am I doing this every single week to myself? But on the other hand, it's like, I'm happy about where we're at with the Rippaverse and the direction that we're going and creating that original content, everything pertaining to the business. Doing all that stuff not only takes time, but it's something that's therapeutic for me. You hear me use that term a lot. It's fun. It's far more fulfilling for me than like covering other people's stuff. Again, positively or negatively for that matter. So if I want the company to be in the best spot that it realistically can be in, it makes all the sense in the world for me to like not be, doing that kind of content out there, because look, I got, employees, we got to keep this thing moving, right? So again, my time is better suited for that. And the time that I don't dedicate towards like the business and things like that, I'm putting towards my family. So it just doesn't really make sense for me to do that. Yes, I have like the hobbies of video gaming and doing stuff like that, though. If I was to return and doing a review every now and then, that's kind of, I think, the genre, right? It would be less comic book stuff and more like doing like video game reviews like I did with Cyberpunk and stuff like that. Obviously, it's an industry that I would love to get in, but we're not in. Maybe it makes a little more sense. And plus, on my downtime, like if I'm not doing anything, I'm generally gaming if I'm not doing something pertaining to the business, which again, it's not often, but that's where my free time, if you will, is going. So, again, I just want people to put that into perspective, because I do understand that people were out there. There were people out there that valued my, I guess, perspective, especially on comic book stuff, because I was knowledgeable on like the source material. So I get it. I get it. It's like, hey, I would love to know how that guy felt about the Superman film or the new whatever film. And it's like, is that really professional of me to do that? Probably not. While I'm not saying that we're going to be some massive mega corporation actually that goes against kind of what we want to do here at the Rippaverse. So I'm not saying that I'm like competing with these guys or on that level like that. No. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially for the owner of a company, to be focusing so much on what someone else in their industry is doing. And the customers pick up on that. I think it'd be weird. Like, why is he spending so much time talking about these other guys when doesn't he have his own comic book company? Like, it didn't make sense. So yeah, that's the reason why, or the reasons why I just doesn't make sense for me to do reviews. Like I said, I've done probably like already 4 versions of this same video, but people keep asking.